Yeah, that's probably true for now, I think, until we see how the policies work out. But the Super Bowl, I mean, I'm not that surprised by either of those reactions. I mean, it's an event where tickets are $5,000 a pop or whatever. So you mean the crowd made up of, senior VPs and dealership owners or Trump fans or whatever? I'm not, if he gets that reaction in like at a Memphis Grizzlies game or something, I would be a little more taken aback.
Liberal comedian Trae Crowder was a guest on Piers Morgan Uncensored to be part of a panel that included former advisor to Kamala Harris, Mike Nellis, and MAGA right-wingers Sage Steele and Mercedes Schlapp. In this particular segment from Piers Morgan's show, Piers Morgan slobbers all over Donald Trump, which he has been doing for a long, long time. And we get some pushback from Trae Crowder and Mike Nellis. Let's take a look at clips of this together.
Trae Crowder, a.k.a. the liberal redneck. Mercedes Schlapp, the Trump former senior advisor, host of America Uncancelled on CPAC Now. And Mike Nellis, the former Kamala Harris advisor and white dude for Harris. Well, welcome to all of you. Let me start with you, Mike. You must have had a pretty rough few months.
Nope.
Really?
It is what it is.
Come on, Mike.
I lost an election. I mean, I understand that the conservatives on here are having a good time being boastful about it, but what I actually care about is getting stuff done now.
Piers loves to gloat about Democratic losses and rub it into Democrats in the left because, he's not a right-winger. We're going to get more into this here in a minute, but Piers Morgan, not a right-winger.
Help people. And look, Donald Trump got elected. He promised to get grocery prices down on day one. Grocery prices aren't down. So if you're asking me if I'm having a bad time, no, I'm not. I think the American people are having a bad time because Donald Trump made a lot of big promises that he's not meeting right now. He's doing a lot of stuff that, right-wing influencers online love, but he's not doing anything to get grocery prices down, make housing more affordable, help people retire with dignity, and that's what I actually care about.
If he's not doing a good time and the American people don't like it, why has he got record polling of approval?
Well, listen, Donald Trump's going through his honeymoon right now, and that makes sense. I think a lot of Americans are giving him the benefit of the doubt, and he's doing some stuff that they like, I think particularly on the border. But look, when he did his first TV interview after he won the election, he said, I was elected to get grocery prices down. And he hasn't done a single thing on grocery prices. Grocery prices are higher now. He hasn't done a single thing on eggs as the bird flu spreads to cows and chickens all across this country. It's a bit of a mess. And if you look at that same polling you were touting earlier, yeah, Donald Trump's got a 53% approval rating. You're acting like it's an 80% approval rating, like he's Chairman Mao. But he's not. He's got a narrow positive approval rating right now, which is good. But 2/3 of Americans are saying that he's not doing enough to lower grocery prices, and that's what he was elected to do. So he's making a critical mistake, and maybe it's not catching up to him in the first couple of weeks, but it's going to catch up to him as the American people start to feel that pain.
So you've gone from basically calling him Hitler, the Democrats and liberals, to...
I never called him Hitler.
To putting all your... Hang on, I'm not saying you did. I'm not saying you did. I'm saying that as a group, the Democrats and liberals have for years called him Hitler, a fascist, et cetera, and you're now reduced, I say this respectfully, you're now reduced to your Trump bashing being around all your eggs in one basket. Eggs.
No, I think what right-wing commentators like yourself are very good at...
I'm not right-wing! Whoa.
Hold on.
Mike.
You and I are not in the same wing, Piers.
I'm not a right-wing commentator. I'm not.
Listen.
I'm not. I literally ran a left-wing newspaper in Britain for 10 years.
And elevating it and trying to make it
I'm
seem
not
like the rest of us.
right-wing, mate. I'm a centrist.
I love this. Piers doth protest too much. Piers plays this game. He does nothing but bash the left, nothing but bash the Democrats, simp for Trump. Everything Trump does is great. Everything Democrats do is wrong. And then when somebody calls him on it, like Mike Nellis here, I'm not a right-winger. How dare you? Who would ever think that I'm a right-winger? People back in England would laugh at the idea of me being a right-winger. And then I get comments on all my videos from people in the UK saying, Piers Morgan is absolutely a right-winger. So I love this. He is so disingenuous.
I'm a guy that finds...
In fact, the only person in American politics that ever called Donald Trump Hitler is J.D. Vance. So come on.
But that's not true.
It is. Find it. Find where a major member of the Democratic Party...
Kamala Harris called him a fascist.
Okay. Yeah. That's not the same as calling him Hitler.
Well, listen, there have been gazillions of liberals who've called him Hitler. But look, let's move on.
Sure. Yeah. You can find anybody commenting in a dumb news article at the bottom, highlight it, and say that everybody's calling him Hitler. But come on. That'd be like me saying that
Mike, you can't just call me a right-wing commentator because I'm not.
He's
if
a
you watch
right-wing
my show
commentator.
regularly, you'd know I'm not a right-wing. What I am is viscerally anti-woke. And what happened at the election was that the country, it turned out, were also viscerally...
He's viscerally anti-woke, Piers Morgan is, just like all of the other right-wing commentators. Nobody on the left is constantly talking about woke and everything being woke. They're thinking about egg prices, for example, like Mike Nellis here, like the rest of the country.
Anti-woke. And along with cost of living and immigration, it was the wokery nonsense that actually cost the Democrats everything in the end.
I mean, I think that's revisionist history, though. When you poll people, they'll tell you the number one reason they voted in this election was about the economy. That was the reason that Donald Trump won. And again, when he did his first TV interview, I think he did like Meet the Press, like right after he got elected, he said, I was elected to lower grocery prices. I was elected to make housing more affordable. That's what I'm going to do on day one. And it's day what? 30? Day 25, whatever it is. And he hasn't done anything on that. He doesn't even talk about it anymore.
You know what he...
He's
you know
cutting
what?
federal spending.
Mike,
He's doing a whole bunch of executive actions.
Mike, I admire, honestly, I admire the work you're trying to do here. But it's quite ironic that Trump banned, I think he's banned paper straws yesterday, and you are clutching at massive paper straws right now. Let me get to Mercedes, who's been smirking her way through this. Mercedes, it seems to me if the Democrats are now reduced to eggs, they've pretty much given up in the battle against Hitler, the Nazis, the fascists, and all the other ludicrous slurs that liberals have thrown at Trump for 8 years. If it seems to me, if the only battleground now is eggs, he's won.
Well, you got to remember, Joe Biden was in office for 4 years. They could not get a handle on inflation. They could not get a handle of the American people feeling the pain of the cost of living. And yes, I mean, I would say to Mike's point, it is a priority for President Trump. This needs to be one of the biggest focuses that you're going to see, especially as Congress puts together their budget reconciliation bill, as they're going to be moving towards tax cuts, as they're going to be moving to find ways to lower inflation. As anyone who knows economics, it takes time to lower the inflation, to lower the cost of living. The American people have been leaderless for 4 years under Joe Biden. It's why they rejected Joe Biden, because everything for the Democrats always boiled down to abortion. If they would bring up the economy, it would end up talking about abortion or sex changes for children. And so they failed to connect to the American people. Something that President Trump has done, and as we're seeing in these most recent polls, is that they're showing a president who is focused, energetic, tough, delivering on what he's promising on. I mean, I got to tell you, it's very impressive to watch how much President Trump has been able to do in the past 4 weeks. He's re-engaged with companies. Think about just the recent investment with OpenAI and with SoftBank in terms of a $100 billion investment, Stargate here in the United States. He's bringing many more international investments back to the United States. He's engaging with the area of Latin America that was ignored by President Joe Biden, where he's been able to say, listen, we've got these criminal aliens, you got to take them back. And so when you see these really very, I think, swift actions that we're seeing at the border, where we're able to get these criminal aliens out of the United States back to these countries, it shows that President Trump is working as quickly as he can. Because to Mike's point, there is a honeymoon period. There is a moment here where there is political capital that President Trump has at this moment in time, and he recognizes it. And it's why you're seeing the president moving so quickly on all these priorities, including ensuring that, yes, the focus has to be getting those inflation numbers down. That I'm so glad the Democrats just woke up and said, yes, let's try to do this.
Yeah.
At least this Mercedes Schlapp admits that they need to be doing something about prices, which Piers Morgan says yes to her. But as Mike Nellis is saying that, he's just saying nobody cares about that. Piers Morgan. And Donald Trump has come out and said, yeah, lowering prices is hard.
Trae, let me bring you
Can I jump in on that for a second, Piers?
Yeah, very quickly, yeah.
To respond? Yeah, it's what's amazing to me is that after the last couple of years where Republicans have been saying how easy it's going to be to get inflation down, that all of a sudden the minute that they control Congress and Donald Trump's in the White House, it's a hard thing. We can't get it down. It's terrible. We can't do it. Like, This is insane to me. Like, Donald Trump repeatedly said on day one, grocery prices were going to go down, and they're not. And you want to say I'm putting all my eggs in one basket, but at the end of the day,
I'm sorry. Have you seen the oil prices? Gas prices are down.
It should be about helping them retire with dignity and get a good paying job and be able to start a family. And right now, Donald Trump isn't doing that. It's a lot of circus politics.
Look,
you're
just Mike. I'm so sorry. You're wrong on this.
All right. You know what he is doing. You know what he is doing, because the polls clearly reflect the public approval of this. He's doing a lot of other stuff he said he'd do, and he's doing it very, very quickly. We bring in Trae Crowder. Trae, what I was struck by yesterday, the Super Bowl, a big piece of Americana. Taylor Swift, most popular pop star in America, roundly booed. Now, partly that's because obviously her boyfriend plays for one of the teams. You'd expect some booing.
This is another obsession of Piers Morgan, is Taylor Swift. He's obsessed with woke. Everything is woke, and he's obsessed with Taylor Swift. That people like Taylor Swift.
It's pretty loud. And then the camera turned on Trump. And, if this had been done 4 years ago, 6 years ago, he'd have been pretty well booed too, as well as some cheering. But he got almost universal cheering. The crowd kind of erupted. And as Elon Musk said, that's a real shift in vibe, shift in mood about Trump. And there's no doubt he is a lot more popular now than I think he's ever been in America. Do you accept that?
Yeah, that's probably true for now, I think, until we see how the policies work out. But the Super Bowl, I'm not that surprised by either of those reactions. It's an event where tickets are $5,000 a pop or whatever. It's like, you mean the crowd made up of, senior VPs and dealership owners or Trump fans or whatever? I'm not, if he gets that reaction in like at a Memphis Grizzlies game or something, I would be a little more taken aback. And yeah, with Taylor, you touched on it. I'm a huge football fan. I think most of us outside of Kansas City have long since gotten tired of the Chiefs, right? And all their, referee love affair, bundle Rooski bullshit and falling bass backwards into wins all year long. And part of that Chiefs fatigue is having to see the camera crew pan to, Kelsey's girlfriend every time he catches another 3-yard button hook or whatever. People just been tired of them and their whole thing for a while now. And I'm not a Philadelphia guy, but the Birds did us a service yesterday, so I appreciate that.
The trouble with if you're Taylor Swift is what do you do, right? If she doesn't go, she's snubbing her boyfriend. The romance is over, and it's front page news in the tabloids for 3 weeks. If she does go, everyone gets annoyed because she keeps going. It's like, you can't win.
Piers, but come on. They went on a double date, like Mahomes, who I love, Patrick Mahomes and his wife, and Taylor Swift and Travis, like 2 days before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
We don't have time to go to a dinner,
I would not have done that. I agree.
Date before the Super Bowl.
No, I agree. I thought that was a rare misstep where you're really a hostage to fortune if you do that. If you go out having dinner, looking like you're very relaxed and complacent, that's not a good look if you then get hammered.
No.
Let me bring in Sage. Sage, look, it doesn't mean a lot really that Trump got cheered and Taylor got booed, other than what is indisputable since the election result, and the polls all show it, is that Trump has unleashed this barrage of executive orders. Many are exactly what he said he'd get done, including banning trans athletes in women's sport, hugely popular, including what he's doing on the border, again, hugely popular. There's a lot of stuff here which I think most Americans are nodding to. They're going, you know what? Historically, I might have been a Democrat, but I agree with this stuff. And that's where the Democrats, I think, have to be really careful about what they do next. Because if their only shtick is egg prices, they're not going to win back power.
Yeah. It's been interesting. I think there have been a lot of fair Democrats and liberal political analysts over the last 3 weeks. It's been only 3 weeks, by the way, Mike, since he was inaugurated. So we waited 4 years for something to be done and for some leadership to be shown, and none of that actually happened, which I think was a referendum sent down by voters. To me, as far as last night here in New Orleans, I wasn't surprised either, because at the end of the day, this is a football crowd. But it is also interesting. Yes, people come from around the world. I've been in this city for too long now, 8 days. And the number of people in this very blue city that have come up to me and just said, oh my gosh, thank you, so excited. Donald Trump is making an effort. By the way, no sitting president had ever come to a Super Bowl before, which is strange. First time in history. Joe Biden wouldn't even go to the Army-Navy game, which to me sent a message as well. People just want someone who's going to make an effort, someone who's going to be understandable when they speak and be able to focus on the task at hand, literally and figuratively, and someone who's going to lead. And that is what has not happened over the last 4 years. every single person I've spoken to, and it's been an honor to be there and to be at the White House last week when he signed that executive order to keep boys out of girls' sports, men out of women's sports, says the Democrats,
Another obsession of Piers Morgan is trans people in sports, which I do not think the majority of Americans really care about that. It's such a minor issue. The president of the NCAA testified before Congress and said out of 500,000 athletes in college, less than 10 are trans. I believe in the Olympics in Paris, there were 3 trans athletes. So this is a thing that the right-wingers love to obsess over that isn't a real issue. As far as Trump at the Super Bowl, my guess, this is just my guess, is that presidents don't want to take the attention away from the Super Bowl, but Donald Trump is such a narcissist that he has to be the center of attention at all times. And, he couldn't miss the opportunity to be at the biggest event in the country. He doesn't care about, the players and the athletes. He wants to have the focus be on him. So that's what this is all about, in my opinion. But let me know what you think about what Piers Morgan had to say about these MAGA right-wingers, Sage Steele and Mercedes Schlapp, as well as Mike Nellis and Trae Crowder. Let me know in the comments what you think about their comments or my comments. And if you like this content and you want to see more of it, I get a lot of people who say that they don't want to go to Piers Morgan's channel, but they like these clips that I do. And I really appreciate that. I enjoy covering these Piers Morgan panels, even though they're kind of infuriating, but they also can be entertaining. So if you like what I'm doing, make sure to give me a like and subscribe. This is Chris on Culture, and I will see you in the next video.